It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, TGIF. I am Philip Simon.
And the dream team is back! Phil and I are so happy to be back in your company. Of course, I was traveling for a while, came back on Monday. And Mark was here, which I obviously love. But of course, it's so good to have you back with us, Phil.
Good to see you back, man. You're representing still,
Bahamas
looking
strong.
all
Bahamas
absolutely
strong.
lovely in this gold here. I was off just for 4 or 5 days up in Jamaica. Last weekend, a little YPO retreat. It was really, really, really nice. We stayed in an area called Okabessa and a resort called Golden Eye, which is from the James Bond, Ian Fleming, It's just cool, man.
That's good,
Sat
man.
and spent some time with Chris Blackwell, fella's still going strong, man. He's 82 and a quarter, he said, and
What's the biggest lesson you think you learned from him?
pace,
Okay.
pace and peace. I mean, big resort,
Right.
And it's one of several that he has. Of course, he used to be Compass Point here, and I think Pink Sands, and he lives in a little villa that's just simple, man. And so I asked him, I said, why aren't you in this? Because they have the Ian Fleming villa, which one of the guys rented. It's just nice, and
Right.
I'm like, well, why aren't you in this? Why aren't you here?
Right.
He's like, I don't need to be.
Wow.
He says, I'm quite happy, in my own little space right there. So pace and peace,
Pace and
it
peace.
was really interesting.
That's good
What
stuff.
about you? You know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to spend some time talking about all those places you went, and I was just so excited to see that, man.
Yeah, no, we went to Bali, we went to Singapore, and of course spent some time in San Francisco and went to Napa Valley.
Nice.
And it was really a nice opportunity for us to have a vacation as a family, but also, it's always good to expose yourself to the world. And I think the more that I travel and the more that I see, the more I appreciate other cultures, but certainly the more I appreciate home.
No
and
doubt
I think
about it,
it
no
is
doubt
the
about
best
it.
place on earth.
Absolutely.
So we had a wonderful time,
Yeah.
but I was so happy to come home to the country that I love. Challenges though we may face,
Yeah.
this is still the greatest place on earth.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I think I saw a post yesterday. I know you were going to say it, but somebody's.
Yeah, my little sweetheart,
I
Cairo.
can't believe it's 2 years
2
already.
years already. My daughter celebrated her second birthday yesterday, and just grateful to God that He's brought us this far, and praying and continuously praying that He would keep us and that she would get to grow up. And I think, especially post-Dorian, having known people that have lost family, that have lost children,
It's
just
a
to be able
blessing.
to celebrate her
Absolutely.
and to be here with her
It's extra
is a
special.
blessing that I really
Absolutely,
appreciate.
extra special.
Yeah.
Just looking at the PowerPoint and the different images from she was born up until must yesterday, it's just like, wow. But you blink and then they'll be in college in their second year saying, bye,
Aw,
daddy. See you in the Christmas.
Listen, we've got an excellent show lined up for you today, and so we're so happy that you're with us. We hope that the little ones are watching as well. Of course, we bring some of this information for them. So it's going to be a great show. So call a friend, text a friend, tell them we're live on Facebook, and of course, we are live here with you on Channel 212.
212, we're going to be talking with the Bahamas Ministry of Education. Once again, we've been with them all month, even while you were gone, and talking about the Bahamas High School Diploma as well. Pastor Ricardo Miller is back.
Yeah.
He's back with Keno McCartney. All excited first thing this morning. That's a lot of energy these guys bring. But now they're going to be talking about the National Influencers Summit. It's a twist on what they've been doing the last 2 years or so. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We've also got Dr. Laura DeSorius here. Now, I'm sure I might have pronounced that wrong, but she's going to correct me as soon as I get the chance to speak with her. But she is a urogynecologist. Urogynecologist. Big words this morning, y'all. About sunrise.
Big
To be so
words.
early in the morning.
And what time is it? 6?
It's like
Yeah, no, it's too
6:35.
early,
Why are
yeah.
they doing that to me? But the Bahamas Society of Human Resource Management is also here. They're going to be talking about their organization and an upcoming conference that they've had.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, we've got the Alive Weekend Calendar, and the Speaker of the House is actually here. Parliament has apparently been around for about 290 years. So he's going to
that's
be...
a long time.
Yeah, that's a really long time.
That's an accomplishment, actually. I mean, especially when we see what's going on in the world today. So we're so privileged to have the House Speaker here this morning to talk with us about that.
Yeah, so he's going to be talking with us about some events that they're going to have celebrating that. And then, of course, we've got Godfrey Burnside with us with so many things happening in the tropics. You know, Karen looks like she might be fizzling out, might be going up. We're never quite sure. So Godfrey's going to give us an update on weather. And here he is with our first look now.
Remind me to tell you about Gandhi.
Okay. I can do that.
Weather at sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance.
Me.
Today, tomorrow.
And now, with our first...
Thank you, Star, good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at the weather, sunrise, mid to upper level low over the northwest Bahamas, moving towards the north. And then with southeastern islands, we have a surface trough that's moving towards the west. But most of them don't have much water in it, but some few passing showers will occur during the daytime, particularly over the southeastern and central islands. In your weather today, we're looking at partly sunny, again hot and humid, and the chance of a few showers over the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy with a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm over the central and southeastern islands. High temperature 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, few clouds, warm over the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy with a few showers or an isolated thunderstorm over the central and southeastern islands. Your low temperature going down to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados, 83 and 79. In Jamaica, 82 and 74. In Trinidad, 86 and 77. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 88 and 78. Across North America, Atlanta, 93 and 71. In Raleigh, 86 and 69. In Miami, 88 and 76. Dallas, Texas, 92 and 74. And Toronto, Canada, 69 and 52. As we go through the weekend, we expect a pretty good weekend in store weather-wise, with mix of sun and clouds, few passing showers, but by middle of the week, expect the remnants of Karen, which should be a low, to increase our cloudiness sometime on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Low temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the upper 70s. That puts you up on your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Listen, we've got a lot of excitement in the studio. I'm so happy to see these two gentlemen back, these two pastors of esteem. Pastor Ricardo Miller and Pastor Keno McCartney, and they are talking. I can't believe it's been a year already, but the National Influencers Summit is a different twist on an old concept. But guys, welcome back, man.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man, looking good.
Good to see you, man.
Good
to be here.
On, man?
Oh, excited. Good to be here.
Listen, so we're doing it once again, but it's got a little twist on it this year.
We shifted some things around. Before it was the Children's Ministry Workers Summit, which was centered around a meeting designed for those who work with elementary age children.
Right.
The shift has become the Influencer Summit, those who are passionate about reaching children, youth, and young adults. So if you're interested in reaching young people and understanding why all of these changes are occurring and how do we best reach them, the Influencer Summit is for them.
So we gone from calling it a Workers Summit to Influencers Summit.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
That's what leadership is all about, right?
That's right. Leadership is all about someone who has the ability to impact the lives of others. And also, as you can see, over the last several years, we've had leaders who have emerged based on various crises. All through the Bible, we see God has called men and women who have been able to influence nations. So we're starting from those persons in our country, from the small ones, from the little children, right up to the adults. So we're ready to go.
And that's interesting. I mean, you both are pastors, right? So when we talk about the work that you do, you are leaders of of the organizations that you're part of, right? But leadership can be anywhere, right? And I think that's really what you're talking about.
Yeah, one of the things we realize is there are a lot of people who are in the classroom, Sunday school classroom, leader over the department, but they're struggling with influencing the department. They got the title. But unfortunately struggling with the role. And when it comes to reaching children, youth, and young adults, it is important that you train yourself for what you're called for. And that's what we're trying to do.
But you got to know what you call for.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta know. But yeah, so when a person says, listen, man, I'm called to reach young people,
Right.
then you need to know that if your classroom should be accommodating 40 kids and you only got 7,
Right.
there's a disconnect.
Right.
Because we got 40 kids in the community, why aren't they in the room?
Right.
In the teacher's situation, you got 30 kids in the classroom, but they're not passing their grades. You're not connecting. The Influencer Summit is a meeting centered around helping those who are called to reach the next generation do better job in reaching them.
Listen, this is important. This is important because, again, if you're talking about reaching the next generation, you're talking about influencing a country for the next
Absolutely.
generation.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the summit. What can persons expect? It's open to all of those categories you spoke of. All right.
A couple of things. Let me just start by saying this. Once the leader gets it, the people will reflect it. So that's why this is so very important for us to ensure that this summit is going to be October 11th, the Friday of the evening. It begins at 7 to 9, and Saturday the 12th. It's so amazing. It coincides with the National Heroes holiday.
Right.
And what better way to celebrate and to train other leaders, influencers, that to do it around a specific time that our leaders, we celebrate the leaders and heroes of our nation. So October 11th and 12th, and it's going to be at Queens College.
Queens College, okay.
And that's also a very significant partnership. We have partnered with another
You were there last year,
organization.
weren't you?
We were there last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
We have partnered with Queens College.
Okay.
Again, they have been developing influencers in their
Absolutely.
school, in our
Culture
country.
of excellence.
And
Yeah,
what better way
absolutely.
than to bring these two organizations together to impact this nation?
So tell us a little bit about the presenters and some of these topics you're talking about.
We have more than 24 presenters coming from the United States in conjunction with local presenters with 15 topics on Saturday, breakout sessions that's going to happen in classrooms across the campus of Queens College. So a person can learn about how to reach children creatively, understanding the difference between traditional leadership and today's leadership, understanding the dynamics of how to use technology and connecting with today's kids. I mean, there's just so much that's changing. Any person who finds themselves saying, these young people don't get it, and when I was growing up, if you're saying that, you should be at the summit.
That's right.
Because this will help you to connect.
Sound like old sackcloth. Anyway, it's new wine. It's
new wine,
new wine. All right. So that is. I mean, when you start talking about connecting with the way of today,
Right.
right?
Yep,
The
yep.
message remains the same.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
The delivery
But
sometimes
the message
changes.
changes. Yeah, the message changes. And that's something we have to understand. We're not talking about changing principles. I teach principles are like lighthouses. They don't move.
Right.
But methods change, and methods are continuing to change. And unless we understand how and what we need to change, we're going to continue to lose a generation. We're not short on young people. No. We're short on connecting with them.
That's key. That's key.
Yeah.
So again, open to all and sundry. I mean, so you can attend parts of the summit or the entire thing. I mean, is there evening sessions, breakout? I mean, how does it
Good
work?
stuff.
Once you register for the whole thing.
When you register, there's two things we're going to be allowing. The Friday session is open to everyone.
Okay.
Open to the general public.
Yep.
On Saturday, you could register from 8:30 to 3.
Okay.
You could register for that. We have a wonderful conference package that's going to be available for those persons. Let me tell you something. Once you find that you have the ability to change a generation, I'm saying to everyone who's listening this morning, you should be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You must be there.
Yeah.
All right. Is there an overall theme?
It's developing the leader within.
Developing the leader.
Because a person can have the title but not develop the skill to match the title.
Right.
And so having struggled because you're the teacher, they're not listening, there's a disconnect. You have the position, but you're not having the result that should reflect the position. The goal is to come to this meeting, we're going to help you to connect.
But the other thing about that, I mean, I know we hopefully don't run out of time, but when you start talking about it, because I'm very interested in leadership all the time, right?
Yep.
Titles don't always connect
that's
to,
what I'm saying.
and I think persons may find at the conclusion of something like this, maybe the position is not the one for me. Maybe it's something else.
Correct.
And when we talk about influencing a particular, not just the person,
Yep.
but the area.
The truth is you could be a good person but not learn how to work with people. We're going to be talking about winning with people. We have 15 sessions happening on Saturday.
Wow.
A person who is interested, teachers, Sunday school workers, children's ministers, youth leaders, millennial, pastors, principals. This is the meeting. You can go to our website, ricardomiller.com, to learn more about it, or you can go on any social media platform, put in Influencers Summit Bahamas, and you'll get us.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about the details
That's
again.
it, that's
And there's a cost associated with it, or all that information is on your website?
All that's on the website.
Okay.
Again, we're giving a special discount for persons who come with groups.
Okay.
So if you have a group of 8 or more, we have a special discount for you.
Excellent.
So again, bring your entire department, your entire leadership team. Come and learn and be blessed. And let's change a nation together.
Sila!
There you go.
Pastors Ricardo Miller and Keno McCartney doing
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right.
We're doing it again.
Influencers Summit, doing it once again just for you. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
I started in 1974 with the first-born Bahamian principal, Dr. John Knowles. I got a call from Ms. Linda Burrows at the Ministry of Education, and she said, Mary, how would you like to work at the College of the Bahamas, because we're bringing the college into existence? So I said, yes. I am overjoyed because I've made it to the university. That was something to be proud about, because I've seen all the changes from college to university. We can compare ourselves with any university. From day one, from we started, the standard was so great. I am Mary Major Russell, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want first response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We're back with more now, and I'm really excited because we're going to be talking especially to the women who are watching this morning. Urogynecology is a subspecialty of gynecology, and a urogynecologist manages clinical problems associated with the dysfunction of the pelvic floor and bladder. Here to clarify what you might need for this kind of help, very happy to get this name pronounced correctly this time, Dr. Laura DeRosier. She, of course, is the urogynecologist. Got that word right as well. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And we've had some urologists on the show before. We've had gynecologists on the show before. So it's good to see that we've got like this combination of that specialty to talk us through what that actually means. And we've heard about urologists and gynecologists, but what might be better suited for a person to see a urogynecologist?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, and in fact, for many, many years, urologists and gynecologists have worked together in combining cases or just trying to collaborate with how best to treat certain things, incontinence, prolapse, etc. But it was pretty evident probably 50-ish years ago that there was a little niche that wasn't being filled. In general, I think people tend to think urology for males, and they tend to think gynecology for females. But things like prolapse and incontinence are not relegated just to the field of urology. And so out of that sort of need was birthed urogynecology. And since then it's gone through lots of transformations, and in 2012 I believe was the first board certification. So the field of FPMRS, female pelvic medicine or reconstructive surgery, is, and our nickname is urogynecology, has really been birthed out of a necessity for women.
That's awesome. awesome. And I think it's so good to hear like something like this only emerged in about 2012 shows us that medicine is continuing to evolve.
Correct.
And that I guess women are becoming more important, right, to the medical field and looking at ways that they can help to support women in areas that traditionally males might not have even noticed or recognized. So that speaks to me on a variety of levels. But you mentioned the terminology pelvic, and I kind of want to delve into that more and find out from you what are some of the common pelvic floor disorders? What does that even mean?
Right. Yeah. So the pelvic floor really refers to the bowl through which the urethra, the vagina, and the rectum go through.
Okay.
So there are a set of muscles that sort of hold that space. So things like incontinence, things like prolapse, and under the auspices of prolapse are rectoceles, uterovaginal prolapse, cystoceles, etc. And then there's the other area of pelvic pain or pelvic floor dysfunction. There are lots of reasons why it can happen. Sometimes it's a muscular problem, sometimes it's a nerve problem, sometimes it's a combination of things.
So you mentioned the word incontinence a couple times, and I'm going to delve into that a bit more. But if you can just give us, for those of us that are not medically inclined, what does that mean exactly?
It means leakage, really. It's urinary leakage that's beyond your control.
Okay.
And there are many mechanisms for it. So that's why it's important for us as physicians to sort of tweak out the reasons for why you're having the incontinence.
Okay.
But essentially it's leaking that's involuntary.
Okay.
And it's always important. Leakage is never a normal thing. So if you're having leakage, it's always important to sort of figure out why that's happening.
Yeah, okay. And are there any other conditions that you treat?
Yeah, so interstitial cystitis, which is sort of along the auspices of painful bladder syndrome, which we're sort of changing the name. We're not using interstitial cystitis as much, but painful bladder syndrome, where there are signs of potentially common signs that are associated with urinary tract infections, urgency, frequency, even some pain with urination that's persistent without an infection. It's an inflammatory condition that sometimes can be overlooked because the tendency is that, we think, oh, we've got another UTI.
Yeah.
But if we investigate it, we'll find that there have been no UTIs or very few UTIs. So those symptoms can, that's the thing with pelvic floor disorders. Sometimes symptoms can overlap, and so you can think there's one problem when there's really something else that's going on.
Yeah.
Therefore, paying acute attention to the details are really important.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to come and see someone like you
Correct.
who has a variety of experiences related to gynecology and can pinpoint that this might be something that you've never considered before. Okay, so I think that this is important that we're kind of explaining this to everyone today. And then the prolapse incontinence, that's the one where, is that a particular type of leakage, or how do we kind of identify what's happening there?
Yeah, so prolapse and incontinence are different.
Okay.
So prolapse is dropping of the vaginal wall or the uterus. And we break it down in different compartments, right? So I like to tell my patients if the vagina were a room, the front door of the room would represent the opening of the vagina.
Okay.
And the part of the room that's furthest back, so opposite to the front door, would be where the top of the vagina sits. And if you still have a uterus, then your cervix and uterus would be there. The ceiling would represent the anterior wall of the vagina, and the floor would represent the posterior wall of the vagina.
Okay.
So to put it in perspective, if I were to poke a hole through the ceiling or the anterior wall of the vagina, I'd be in the bladder. If I were to poke a hole through the posterior wall of the vagina or the floor, I'd be in the rectum.
Right.
So putting everything in perspective.
Right. Yeah. No. This is good stuff. Right. And the thing is, you would think as women that we would know these things, but so very few of us even understand the way that our bodies work. And it isn't until we have kids or we're attempting to have them, or something goes wrong and you're feeling pain, that you even consider everything that's happening there.
Right.
So this is really an excellent conversation.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I'm very hopeful. I do see a difference in our body image and how we see ourselves as women along the spectrums. For example, my younger patients do tend to be more comfortable about knowing and learning about their bodies, and my older patients tend to be less so.
Yeah.
And even when I say, well, let's go over the anatomy, I'm going to have you hold a mirror, I'm going to show you. A lot of times there's a lot of apprehension.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we may have been taught at some point that knowing about our bodies is not good.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful because I really believe in education. I really believe that the more we know, the better it is for us.
Certainly.
And also making sure that people are comfortable. So when we are more comfortable with ourselves, we're more likely to seek help or notice changes.
Yeah, no, I want to have you back because there's so much more I want to learn now, right? And even just hearing about the reconstruction part of your work, I think people would find that very interesting. We do have to go now, but could you let us know how we can find you, where we can get in contact with you if we want to learn more about how we can kind of deal with some things we might not have realized could be helped, like leaking of the bladder.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'd love to be back. I am working for Doctors Hospital. I straddle my time between Doctors West and Doctors Main. So Doctors Hospital West is on Blake Road. The number there is 302-4710. And you can make an appointment that way. It's easiest if you call that number. I also do sessional clinic at Doctors Main on certain days.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Excellent conversation, and I think it opened a lot of eyes, and I'm hoping that we can continue, like I said, to have this conversation so women can take better care of their health overall. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We're opening your eyes to new information, I promise you, and we're so happy that you're still with us. We're going to be back with more after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Davrielle and welcome to Rev Tips, where we answer your most important Rev service questions. Today's question is, how do I set up a Rev My account? It's super easy. To create a Rev My account, simply visit www.cablebahamas.com and click the My Account icon. Next, select the Create Account option. Please have a copy of your latest statement on hand. Enter the information as it appears on the statement to the respective areas on the form. When you have finished, click Create Account to continue with the process. Once you've registered your account, you can use your username and password to check your account balance, view past statements, and pay your bill online. And that's your Rev Tip for this week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next time.
We get up early every morning to offer safe and dependable service. Where quality service is paramount. An excellent travel experience is priority. Connecting the islands of the Bahamas to the world. Bahamas Air. We don't just fly here, we live here.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. So very pleased and privileged this morning to have, I wouldn't say newcomers to the show, but certainly no strangers to our nation. Honorable gentlemen joining us here to discuss a very, it's a significant milestone in the history of our country. We're joined by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Houston Poultry, and the Deputy Speaker, Dawn Sanders, who many years ago was here with much more black here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
On Bahamas at Sunrise. You know, sometimes we take things for granted, but it's a moment of celebration. 290 years. 290 years.
Yes.
The parliamentary system was established here in the country.
Yes. 290 years ago, on September 29th, 1729,
wow,
the first parliament met in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the first speaker elected was John Colebrook in that parliament. And we've had 290 years of unbroken parliamentary democracy up to this period in time. And so we want to celebrate the foundation that was built by our predecessors in Parliament. And we want the Bahamian people to get a full appreciation of how far we've come in those 290 years, because by any measure, 290 years
Absolutely,
is a significant milestone
no doubt about
in
it.
the nation's history.
Yeah.
And so we plan a number of events.
You know, we're going to talk about those events, but you know, when we talk about 290 years, as you said, it represents the fourth longest tenure within the Commonwealth.
Yes, it was the fourth longest lasting parliament in the Commonwealth. I think in United Kingdom, obviously, Bermuda, Barbados, and then the Bahamas. And so, as the speaker has indicated, you know, we thought it was necessary to celebrate this achievement. We know that the nation is going through hardship and serious experience with the hurricanes, but we wanted to be able to still celebrate it, to demonstrate the fact that you know, we're still a very strong democracy. We have a lot to be proud of, and we're hoping that this brings a new awareness to our Bahamian populace about the importance of democracy, the importance of how our parliament works, and find a way in which we could bring present and former parliamentarians together to discuss what's going on now and how, more importantly, what we could do as nation leaders to propel our democracy even further through Parliament.
I mean, it's the rock of our foundation, right?
It is. Yes, we've adopted the theme, a stronger, deeper democracy. And we're going to be launching the parliamentary channel. It will take a new format as a result of these celebrations, where we're going to be moving towards 24-hour programming, where we're going to be having a number of educational programs on the various stages that a bill would move through Parliament, the history of the Parliament, the role of the Speaker, and so we're looking for an exciting time moving forward. After the celebrations, we're going to be publishing a number of brochures and booklets so that when visitors come to the Parliament, they are able to take away some literature. And we're working with the Department of Education as well to develop a civic curriculum, so from even from primary school, the young kids can have an appreciation so that they can participate, because that's the key to democracy.
Participation.
Citizens' participation.
Another important thing while the speaker speaks about education, because we, as he said, we intend to use the parliamentary station as an education tool. One of the things we also want to tie into that is the social media aspect of it. And so we're also looking at developing, I like to look at it as a speaker, and as bringing the parliament in the 21st century. With Facebook,
This is obviously not
a
business as
Facebook
usual.
page, YouTube page, Instagram, because we know young persons and older persons, they're more involved in the social media. And when you're at the restaurant, when you're in the airport, you could pull out your phone, pull out your laptop, and actually still watch programs of Parliament. You could even, the important thing that is also, which I'm trying to make sure is incorporated in it, have a response. I mean, you could be able to interact and give your suggestions on various bills that are being debated in Parliament, a way for civil society to also get involved in what we do. And so we're trying to use this opportunity to awaken persons' minds and to bring our Parliament, notwithstanding the fact that we are 290 years come Sunday, but to bring us into a modern Parliament.
You know, I love that. I mean, any democracy is only going to be as strong as the educational system, or the education, or the awareness of its people, right? You know, because when you're making decisions, you want to be informed of what you do, and obviously you want to be, you know, up to speed and informed on the systems that govern you. So I love it. This is definitely a new thing, a new type of thinking here, reaching people where they're at. So you've got a week of activities beginning on Sunday.
On Sunday, the 29th, at Bethel Baptist Church, which is another historic institution in our nation. We are going to assemble all existing parliamentarians, and as well as we are inviting all former parliamentarians and the public to come and celebrate with us. Reverend Dr. Timothy Stewart, the pastor at Bethel Baptist, is going to deliver a charge.
Absolutely, no doubt.
For us moving into the future. And so we're expecting a really exciting time.
The second big event that we're going to have is, we talked about Bethel Baptist as being historic, but another very important institution, the University of the Bahamas. We're going to be there on the 30th, which is Monday. We're having a lecture series, and we're focusing on women of politics, because we want to get women involved and show their importance in the development of this country. And so we have some leading parliamentary figures, females. We have Dame Janet Boswick, who's the first female member of parliament, first attorney general, female, the first woman to act as prime minister. We have the Honorable Cynthia Mother Pratt, who was also the first female former deputy prime minister. We have the former Speaker of the House, first female Speaker of the House, Ms. Honorable Atalia Johnson. We have also the first woman to register in the vote in the Bahamas, and the first PLP member of parliament, Ms. Ruby-Ann Darling. And so there are 4 leading female figures. So again, we want to invite colleagues who sit in the House and the Parliament now, the Senate and the House, and those who've gone through in the past. But more importantly, we want to invite people from the community, and particularly persons from the universities and other tertiary education institutions in the Bahamas, and from high schools and primary schools. One is at the Harry C. Moore Library at the University of the Bahamas, their lecture room.
What time does it start?
It starts at 7 o'clock.
Great.
So we invite everyone to get involved in this celebration.
Absolutely.
So we're covering all bases: the church, education, social media,
and our
TV.
True leaders, right?
So, and what is very important is while the Parliament represents the legislative branch, the executive branch, the Prime Minister, Most Honorable Hubert Minnis, has endorsed this event and will be participating on Monday. Right now he's at the United Nations. He'll be back in time to participate on Monday, and he's going to bring the opening remarks before women deliver their presentations and then form the panel for panel discussion. So we are looking for an exciting time.
Great stuff, no doubt about it. And of course, next week,
Parliament reconvenes on Wednesday.
Yeah, a lot of work.
And that should be really exciting.
Always exciting. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Here.
Thank you.
Sunrise.
We look forward to seeing you at the church service and at UB.
You've done this before, on live TV, right? Get that commitment. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations to us as a country. 290 years, significant milestone in our parliamentary democracy. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We've been with the House Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Housen Musri and Dawn Sanders. We'll be right back.
Wait, that's Omar Little from The Wire. You think everyone is Omar from The Wire?
Wow, it's really nice to meet a fan.
It's like he's right here. Are you telling me he was being all type shows and stuff?
And you know, Rev Go Play plays a lot of good movies and TV shows.
Excuse me, can't you see we're watching something else? Rude.
Settle all your pop culture disputes with Rev Go Play. Watch, record, and stream all your favorite shows wherever you are. Free for all Rev TV subscribers. Rev, you and us together.
So who really own the Nassau Container Port?
Boss, that's easy. The government.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I do.
I do. And one day, he will too. I do. Knock knock.
Here at the Nassau Container Port, we've diversified our ownership to give hardworking Bahamians a piece of the economic pie. And we'll continue to grow so that we can give you a consistent return on your investment. That's our promise.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We're back with the mid-show part of our show today, and it's been a good show so far this morning.
Good show. Speaking just now with the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of House Assembly, 290 years. That's a long time, right? And to think that, and what they call it, uninterrupted parliamentary democracy, which is a big deal, and the 4th longest tenured parliament in come off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's significant.
That is very significant. That is very significant. And I think we owe it to ourselves to celebrate that and to recognize our place in history as having a democratic state for such a long period of time. And certainly we have ways to go in terms of how we look at the Constitution and the changes that we make to make it more of a modern parliament. But yeah, it's something to be proud of.
You know, and it said just now up there with the honorable gentleman, it's like, you know, democracy is only going to be as strong and as effective as how educated we are as, not just as a people, but also in the system of democracies that we have. Otherwise, is it really democracy?
Yeah, no, you're right. And this is why so many people call for civics in school, right? So that, and again, I think as we look toward the future, we begin to shape an educational system that allows us to become who we want to be. And this is why vision is necessary, forward thinking is necessary, because the information age of systems, when previous generations had to memorize stuff because there was no internet, is not necessarily relevant now that we can Google it. And so how do we then turn an education system into something that is meaningful so we create the type of citizens that we want to see?
Absolutely. And they're on the right path, man. I mean, they're meeting the citizenry where they're at. I mean, utilizing social media. I mean, they're talking about the parliamentary channel. They're talking about YouTube. I mean, it's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Congratulations.
And we've got more to come in the second half. Speaking of education, of course, the Ministry of Education is going to be back with us. Spoke with them for a bit on Monday myself, and we're going to be talking more about that today, about that diploma program and how parents can get their kids ready, especially now that the school year has started. And in addition to that, we're going to be learning more from the Human Resource Association. They're going to be talking about an upcoming conference that they have. So more to come in the second half.
Yeah, but of course, more with Godfrey Burnside in our second look with Weather at Sunrise. Again, remind me about this whole thing with Gandhi and these introductions.
The thing is that when Gandhi comes on to host, I am not here,
okay.
so I don't know.
All right, well, I'll fill you in. Anyway, Godfrey Burnside, second look at the weather.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. And your second look at weather sunrise, a trip around the tropics. And this morning, we still have Tropical Storm Karen. And at 5 a.m. this morning, was located near latitude 28.3 degrees north, longitude 61.2 degrees west. And that puts about 350 miles southeast of Bermuda. Is moving towards the northeast at 8 miles per hour. This system is expected to become stationary tonight, and then a westward track by late weekend, that's late Sunday. Winds now 40 miles per hour, and this future forecast is to degenerate into a remnant low by Saturday. So it's expected to move towards the west starting late Sunday towards us in the Bahamas. So we should get a substantial effect of this low pressure system by late Wednesday into Thursday. And then we talk about Hurricane Lorenzo, and at 5 a.m. this morning, located near latitude 18.6 degrees north, longitude 42.1 degrees west, some 1620 miles southwest of the Azores, moving towards the north-northwest at near 14 miles per hour. Winds are 145 miles per hour. Lorenzo is a Cat 4 and is normally a hurricane at this time, moving away. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, mid to upper level trough across the northwest Bahamas moving northwest, have a surface trough of northwest Bahamas, and they will trigger 1 or 2 pockets of showers over the area during the next 24 to 48 hours. Winds today easterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. On Saturday, northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, continuing variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. And then on Sunday, those winds come northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, seas 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. Tides happen at 6 a.m. this morning, a high tide. Next low tide will be at 15 minutes past midday. High again this evening at 6:27. Sunset 6:59 this evening. Rises tomorrow at 7:01. UV index 8. Your water temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase now moving towards a new moon. Moving to the weekend. Pretty good weekend so weather-wise. Mix of sun and clouds. 1 or 2 isolated showers passing by. And the temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the upper 70s. That puts her up in your fun look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. The Bahamas Society for Human Resource Management is a non-profit organization dedicated to human resources and business professionals, and of course, this whole quality of upgrading. The most important aspect in any business is its human capital. You know, sometimes I like to switch between human resource and human capital. But we're joined this morning by the Vice President of the Association, Nakia Forbes, and the Vice President, and that's membership, Vice President of Public Relations, Tamika Butler-Burton. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a year already. I mean,
it has, and a lot has happened.
Okay, all right. So for those people who aren't as familiar with the association, it's a long name. In a nutshell, what is the association's purpose?
Okay, so BSHRM is what we dub it as,
I knew there was a
acronym. So BSHRM stands for the Bahamas Society for Human Resource Management. It's a national nonprofit organization for human resource managers throughout the entire Bahamas. We are affiliated with an international body, the Society of Human Resource Management, SHRM, and they're a larger global network.
Sure. So speak a little bit more about, okay, so obviously this is an association for the leaders.
Yes. And not just leaders, up and coming, inspiring professionals in the field.
Okay, so how do persons join? Is it by membership or is it by position?
Okay, so with membership, there are a few types of membership. You have the professional membership for those who have a certain amount of years of experience. They may have certifications. Also, we have membership for associates, those who are aspiring to be HR professionals. Okay. And there's an annual fee that we charge, and there's many benefits we offer for being a part of the association. You would get a global membership through SHRM where you can access the tools there. You have networking opportunities and many benefits.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about obviously you have the annual conference, but throughout the year you're busy.
Yes,
talk a little bit about more some of the activities you do.
Okay, so throughout the years we have designed workshops and seminars for our membership to enhance their skills and talents, and which leads into the conference. The conference is our major event for the year, normally in October. This year it's going to be on the 23rd and the 24th. The 23rd session is from 6 to 9, 6 to 8:30 at the British Colonial Hilton. 14 dynamic speakers are scheduled. So even though I call that number casually, the session is dubbed Disrupt HR. It's phenomenal. Disrupt HR. And so the 24th day is a full day. Our featured speaker is Chris Fuller, renowned author. He's a leading facilitator of John Maxwell content. We have some other speakers, Dr. Kenneth Romer.
Yes.
Of course, Mr. Wellington Hepburn, just to name a few of persons that may be familiar with. But each year, Simon, we try to build on the successes of the years before. And so this one, we aim to meet that challenge. It's going to be phenomenal.
Well, I like that theme. I mean, we talk about disruption all the time.
Well, disruption is the concept for the Thursday session. But the theme for this year, get this, the evolution of HR, aspiring to new heights.
Well, let's talk about that just for a second, because again, when we're talking about human capital within any organization, I mean, to me, it is the most important thing. I mean, even more so than, financial capital. I mean, because again, depending on, the people that you have within your organization, it determines the level in which. So when you're talking about the evolution of HR, in a nutshell, what does that mean?
So, HR has been personnel back in the day, HR, and now a lot of the name now is people, because the focus is, of course, people. And HR professionals, we have the capacity to impact the business, strategically work with the leaders to help them meet their objectives. And we, under SHRM's tagline, are creating better workplaces for a better world.
And it's not just about administration. I mean, a big part of it is training.
And development.
Yes. And the conference has been designed to provide that solution for everyday challenges for our persons. It also you can connect to industry professionals, and it also to empower you to be more effective in your role. So it's not just for HR managers, even though we're hosting it. It's for those business leaders or those business-minded persons to come out and to hear on how you can be a better person, how a better leader in your workplace.
Yes.
So how can people register? I mean,
so we have, they can register by calling our number at 815-3815. They can also email the association at bhrda.bs@gmail.com or the website. There's some information at bhrda.shrm, that's SHRM.org.
All right. And the same, I mean, we talk about registering for the conference, but also, you know, in terms of joining the actual association.
Yes. You can visit our website as well, and the annual membership fee is $195.
That's not bad at all.
Not at all.
And speaking about fees, Nikita, let's not forget to tell them about the fees for the conference.
Yes, so we have an early bird rate, which ends on Monday the 30th. So members can pay $295 and non-members $335. So from October 1st to the 18th, the rate goes up, and then there's another rate afterwards. So we encourage everyone to get on board right away.
Register early.
Yes.
Well, listen, sounds very exciting. Obviously, you guys are looking forward to it. I'd love to hear some of the outcomes of some of these sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us here this morning on Bahamas to Sunrise.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again. We've been with Nikia Forbes, Vice President Membership, and of course, Tamika Burton, Vice President Public Relations.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to try that acronym, but I'm going to say it's the Bahamas Society for Human Resource Management.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
good. Watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
This is Samantha with your Alive Weekend Calendar. Ria Christina presents Wow Experience 2019. It all kicks off with Mastermind, Friday, September 27 at 6:30 p.m. Then the following day, a full day with all speakers, Saturday, September 28th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Warwick, Paradise Island. Rotaract Club of Southeast Nassau Centennial presents 7th Annual Paint the Streets Pink, Saturday, September 28th at the western end of Arawaki, beginning 6 a.m. Philosophy Smokehouse Bar and Grill hosts the first ever United in Paradise relief concert featuring DJ Ignite, Sammy Star, Soulful Grooves, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Philosophy Smokehouse, Nelson and Serenity Drive, 6 p.m. until Long Island Cancer Society 6th Annual Ball of Hope, Saturday, September 28th at Lloyd's Sporting Lounge, Long Island. Cocktail 6:30 p.m., dinner at 7 p.m. Organizers of the Bahamas Bridal Show presents the 6th Annual Girls Night Out, 80s themed party for women only, Saturday, September 28th at Super Club's Breezes, 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. 4th Sundays, receive a complimentary tour of the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas exhibitions, Sunday, September 29th at the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, West Hill Street, 12 noon to 5 p.m. Come Thursday, a powerful night of praise and worship as we release The Sound of Hope, featuring Harvest Generation, Shervin Gander, Simeon Oughton, Kenyatta Taylor, and more. Sunday, September 29th at Bahamas Harvest Church, West Campus, R&D Plaza, JFK at 7 p.m. That's your Alive Weekend Calendar. To be included in the Alive Weekend Calendar, email us at kalbury@tclbahamas.com. Alive. Believe in best.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Well, there's a Bahamian song that says once is not enough. And that's how I felt about speaking with Kishan El-Bastian, the Assistant Director of Education in the Career and Technical Education Department at the Ministry of Education. On Monday, we spoke about the Bahamas High School Diploma, and we really were just getting into the conversation when we had to leave. So we had to ask her to come back so we could talk some more. Ms. Bastian, good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
A pleasure to have you with us. I love the color band.
Thank you. Yours too.
Thank you. We're representing our flag today.
Yes.
But we really got a good overview of the Bahamas High School Diploma. But some people might have missed the show.
Right.
So if they did, just give us a run through of kind of what that looks like from an overall perspective.
So we're talking about the diploma because in the Ministry of Education, the Department of Education, we're pushing our national average. We're pushing more students to be a part of graduating at the end of high school.
Okay.
And we've set a minimum standard, a baseline, where students are asked to adhere to certain standards and to maintain certain standards. It speaks to academic and non-academic criteria, BJCs and GPA, of course, which are the academic, and then things like job readiness training, community service, punctuality and attendance, those kinds of things. So the high school diploma now not only looks at the academic performance of students, but it also looks at the holistic child. Are you in leadership activities, extracurricular activities? So we're trying to cover more bases with our children to put them into a global environment.
Excellent, excellent. In a global environment, we see it all around us, right?
Yes,
And so that is critical. One of the things that you mentioned that was quite interesting is the idea that apprenticeship and job training has to be involved in this diploma
Right.
standard. Could you talk to me about what are the opportunities for that?
With the high school diploma, we put the students in a job readiness program. What industry said to us was, you have students that are coming in. They're gifted. They are academically gifted. They're brilliant. Some of them lack the interpersonal development skills that we're looking for, the engaging of a customer, the eye contact, the confidence in the way you deport yourself. So in our program, we've built in job readiness training, which means that every child that's coming out of high school would have fundamental training in conflict resolution, anger management, basic fundamental skills that you would need as you're going into the workplace. And so for us, that is something that we did not traditionally have. While we taught it in facets of our curriculum, it was not a deliberate focus on it. So we have that now.
Okay, and are there opportunities for organizations who might be looking to help or support the ministry in the apprenticeship program to reach out to you, or is that something that's already set in stone and you're not open to adjustments there?
Well, there are two aspects of it. The apprenticeship program is something different. That's where students are actually going into the field to work. And so in our schools, we have a job training program and then we have a job readiness program.
Okay.
There is also a partnership that the ministry has where there's an apprenticeship training program, which is something different. But the job training experience, the job readiness, was in an effort to prepare them for job training. And so when they leave us after the readiness, we're sending them out hoping that they would be a little better prepared.
Yeah. All right, I see that there. So that's good. So we're building that side of them
Right.
and making sure that when they do come out of school, for those that are going to move straight into the job field, that we don't get that feedback with people saying there's a disconnect
Right.
here. So that's good. But then of course there is the academic side of this.
Yes.
Because you and I were talking off air about the fact that we need to be in a common place where we can have a conversation.
Correct.
And you can appreciate the words that I'm saying to you
Yes.
and understand them. But some kids struggle, right? And we see that people peak at different ages, different stages. Are there interventions for kids who are struggling with meeting the basic criteria to graduate?
So we're in an exciting place because we have students, all of us love our children, and all of us believe that our children will do well. Some, like you said, their plateau is at a different place, at a different time. Some are early, some are late. So what the ministry has done is we've recognized that some students don't settle until grade 11 or grade 12. This is an appeal to all parents. The high school diploma is a 3-year initiative. It starts at grade 10.
Right.
It runs to grade 12. It is not a final year activity. So we are pleading with parents, pay attention to what's happening in the life of your child throughout school, but particularly in the senior years, because now we're talking about college entry, we're talking about readiness exams. The diploma team realized that we had students that were almost there but didn't make it. So this year, for the first time, we had a summer initiative where students that were marginally off in 3 areas, punctuality, attendance, and credits. In those 3 areas, they were marginally off. They were almost there. We had a 2-week intervention program where they were held to very strict standards if they wanted an opportunity, a second chance to make up the diploma. So that's one initiative.
Excellent.
The second one is we recognize that some students will be challenged in some areas, but it does not mean that they cannot learn. And so we've said to teachers, if a child is not successful in a class, what we want you to do is work with us, and we have intervention that goes on throughout the school year. And so at the end of the Christmas semester, if they're not successful in a class, then there should be some intervention in January. So we're pleading with parents, partner with us, know what's happening with your child. The summer intervention is not a guarantee. It was free of charge. The Ministry of Education absorbed all costs. There was no cost to the students. All they had to do is show up. And we'll say to our independent school partners, we're encouraging them to do like minded activities. There are parameters, of course, but that's where we want to push it because we want to give more children an opportunity to earn their diploma.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And I think, and this is what comes through a program as it evolves. You see the shortfalls, you see the opportunities for growth, and you're able to address that. So that's really good that you had the summer intervention and that you're looking at doing something similar as December rolls around. So parents, it's critical if you're watching the conversation now that you're paying attention to what that looks like.
And parents need to be doing it along the way. A lot of times we wait until grade 12. At grade 12, we are hands tied.
Yeah.
But you start at grade 10. So for the grade 12s, we want to give them an opportunity, but let's pay attention over 3 years and not 6 months.
Yeah.
It's a partnership. You're the parent, we're the teachers, we're partnering for our children. We're not passing them off to either one.
So how can people find out more information about it? Is there a space like on the ministry's website or some sort of information where they could go and look and kind of make print out a list and say, okay, this is what I need to be watching for?
Every school has a list. It's printed in the school. We also have the printout of the ideal graduate. We're looking for characteristics of a globally participative citizen. And we heard the speaker mention that they're looking for Bahamian history and civics. Well, that is a part of the high school diploma, something that we added to ensure that we're preparing students in that way. Ministry of Education's website, it's posted in every school. Schools are having PDA meetings and fact-finding sessions and sessions just to talk about the diploma. If you are a parent, you don't know about it, you don't know enough about it, call the school where your child is. If it's an independent school, you can go to the ministry's website, you can contact us directly at the ministry, and we'll be happy to provide the information.
Thank you so much for coming back, Ms. Bastian, and sharing. And I'm so happy to have learned about the intervention because I think we need to have the opportunity for second chances along the way. But so much critical information here, especially for parents to know, while second chances might be available, let's not wait.
Let's not wait. It may not be in that year based on numbers, so let's push them now.
Yeah.
But if it is, we take full advantage of it.
Certainly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you too.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, bringing you the latest information from our Ministry of Education so that you can make sure that your children are ready to exit school with their diploma. We're going to be back with more after this commercial break.
We get up early every morning to offer safe and dependable service. Where quality service is paramount. An excellent travel experience is priority. Connecting the islands of the Bahamas to the world. Bahamas Air. We don't just fly here, we live here.
This is Eddie, and Eddie's a change counter. This is Sean. Sean doesn't have to count change because when Sean purchases a plan with Alive, it's VAT inclusive. Keep things simple, just like Alive's all-new VAT-inclusive prepaid plans with more talk, more text, and even more data. So don't be an Eddie. Freedom simplified. Alive. Believe in best.
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. We certainly hope that you have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
And before we go, we want to extend condolences, of course, to the family of
Tennyson Wells. Yeah. Well, life is fleeting, and certainly, I mean, there was a memorial last night for John Chippy Chipman as well.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot of our legends,
Yeah.
and I'm always fearful for that. Not just the ones that we know in a public setting, but also those that are around us every single day. We got to cherish them. We got to box it up, man.
Yeah, we have to be able to tell their stories and share, which is what we get to do here on Bahamas at Sunrise. And certainly for those 3 birds and the goat, remember them as well. That's going to do it for us, folks. We'll see you here on Monday. Not funny.